another episode of Devotion Championship Wrestling. Lauren Gardner here, the Cicerone from the Gateway. We have the television champion in the ring with his manager.
Everybody has been asking us, now that we beat Manny Lemons 3 times and we put an end to the lemonade stand once and for all here in Utah, what's next for Leo Wolfe?
3 weeks ago, Wolfe beat Lemons for the television title.
Well, let me first start by saying this is the last lemon drop you will ever see in Utah wrestling.
The lemon stand is burned to the ground.
This duo not so subtle in their metaphors.
You know, Leo, what I figured out, there's really nothing left for us to do here. There's nobody left to beat. We've beaten everybody.
Yummy.
Well, we know that they have not beat everybody. And this man, the Ice Cream Man, coming out to the ring, is definitely going to be calling them out. I have no doubt on their proclamation of having nothing else to prove here at Devotion Championship Wrestling.
Shared the same house. What is this doing here? Ladies and gentlemen, you guys been sitting here listening to these two jack their jaws, trying to say how they've got everything on top of it all. Well, that's okay. He may suck, but he does it good. Now, we want these folks to know that they have challenges. They aren't going to just walk in, cruise through, get a little bit of, resistance, but then stay afloat. They can't do that because, number one, the psycho's got a hole in his head, so he's going to take on water fast. We are going to put up Tom Chad, the Ice Cream Man, Pineapple Tom Chad, against, them. And we'll see what happens in this event.
You think you could just waltz in and demand a title shot?
We're doing it, aren't we?
You know what? You deserve to be in this can just like Manny's Lemons.
Well, if you think you can put us in that can, do it. We accept. All right, then.
There you have it, folks. Something to look forward to in the coming weeks. This week, we look forward to the rematch of the triple threat for the DCW Heavyweight Championship. Will Glade retain? But first, a #1 contender match for the Core Championship. Newcomer Mr. Classic takes on the former Core Champion Brother Chatwin. All that and more after this. And we are back at the Gateway. Our senior official, Chris Harmon, has called for the bell, and Brother Chatwin rushes in at the sound of the bell and begins an onslaught of offensive strikes on his opponent, Mr. Classic. Chris Harmon never one to shy away from letting an athlete know what he thinks and how they should be acting in the ring, as he's showing right now with Brother Chatwin. During the commercial break, we had a bit of an incident with Brother Chatwin and his Prophet of Destruction colleague, Tombstone Judas, as Mr. Classic was coming out and getting ready for the bout. Brother Chatwin and Tombstone attacked him from behind and delivered a beatdown. It was at this point that Big Papa Rob, the DCW general manager, stepped in, stipulating that Tombstone would be banned from ringside during this bout. So a props to Mr. Classic. He now goes for a cover. One count there.
So he finished it right now. That's it.
For Mr. Classic to be doing this well after suffering such a physical assault before the match even started says a lot about his training and his character. Mr. Classic recently made his debut here at DCW just 5 weeks ago. Now in this bout for a shot at the Core Championship. And there's a lot more than just a shot at the title here for Mr. Classic. This is a chance for him to show himself as a valid opponent in the locker room. Brother Chatwin now taking time to mock Mr. Classic and taunt the devoted faithful at the same time. Chatwin, who, despite fighting out of Winnipeg, Canada, is not representing the Canadian spirit very well. In fact, I think it's a spirit of possession by way of MK and Tombstone Judas. And just as I was saying that this is a big opportunity, a do-or-die situation for Mr. Classic, rightfully so it is due for brother Chatwin. Chatwin, who recently held the Core Championship, would love nothing more than to exact revenge on Misi the Tongan Lion and gain back the title that was once around his waist. Stiff kidney shot.
That kidney, Classic. Just give up, buddy.
And Chatwin continues to verbally taunt Mr. Classic. However, Classic not backing down one bit. Urged on by the devoted faithful, blocks a strike, misses one of his own, and Chatwin lands a textbook perfect belly-to-back suplex. With a sick and demented laugh, Chatwin gets into position for the cover. Rolls Classic over. 1, 2, does not hook a leg, does not cradle, does not do a lot that you are taught your first day in the ring, and Classic easily kicks out. And this is the thing that you see a lot with people when they start getting a big head in the ring. They forego the basics in lieu of making statements. And this, I've no doubt, will come back to bite brother Chatwin in the long term, if not in this match, in future matches. Classic able to get a foot to the ropes, and referee Harmon forces Chatwin to break the hold. Classic gets to his feet, takes off Chatwin's head with a sky-high vertical drop kick. Classic, who has competed all over the West, from LA to Phoenix to Vegas and everywhere in between, now looking to make his mark here in the Intermountain West at DCW. But Chatwin, who has been at DCW as long as we've been on television, is doing his best to impede that ascension as the two trade blows back and forth. Classic ducks around us and takes Chatwin down with the lariat. Chatwin goes down a second time with that same lariat. Building momentum now, Classic whips Chatwin into the corner, gains some speed, and jumps in with a European uppercut. Drops down, rolls Chatwin into position, goes for the cover. 2. Chatwin gets a shoulder up at 2, and this bout continues. Despite all of his shortcomings, and believe me, there are a lot, and that is not just a pun, Chatwin has got a lot of fight in him, and Classic realizing he is going to have to pull out some big guns to get this job done. Classic goes to whip Chatwin, Chatwin reverses it, whips Classic into the corner, and is evaded beautifully, and now a step-up enziguri right to the face of Chatwin, puts Chatwin on his knees in the center of the ring. Mr. Classic now ascends to the second rope with a corkscrew European uppercut. Down goes Chatwin. Classic gets into position, hooks the leg. 2. No. Chatwin still able to kick out at 2. Mr. Classic has brought the big guns, and the defense put up by brother Chatwin has been admirable. However, Chatwin has yet to do anything defining that would seal this match in his favor. Classic looks to whip Chatwin, but Chatwin now looking for the fall of man, reversed into a double underhook. But glory, Mr. Classic! Rolling Chatwin over, he goes for the cover. 1, 2, and that's it!
Your winner, Mr. Classic!
A big win for DCW's newcomer. We turn to the competitors of our main event after this.
You see, there may not be anybody to my left or to my right. There may not be any more Antifa. But that's okay, because the fight for what's right and the injustice lives on through me. I will fight fascists. I will fight what's wrong with DCW. They put someone in the mentally handicapable community in danger. And he's the DCW heavyweight champion in Josh Glade. I'm gonna have to beat him, and I'm gonna have to beat that fascist, that oligarch, that no-goodnik, William Cuddy. You see, last month, I rightfully beat both of them for the DCW Heavyweight Championship and had my hand raised in victory. Well, tonight, when everything's all said and done, the dust is settled, that's exactly where my hand is gonna end up. And I will become your new DCW Heavyweight Champion.
So this is what it's come to, huh? Andrew Sowell, Josh Glade, me, in a triple threat match. No disqualification for that belt. The belt that I never lost. But, you know, you two idiots can't do your damn job, can you? And that's okay. Because tonight, for both of you, I brought back an old friend. Something that was taken away from me when I was first stuck with Glade. And it is going to help me break down Andrew Sowell, and it is going to cripple Glade. Tonight, that belt comes back where it rightfully belongs. Around my waist. Capiche?
I'm standing here with the DCW Heavyweight Champion Josh Glade. After the controversial matter that your match ended in last month, Commissioner Rob has declared a triple threat match for that championship. How do you think tonight's match is going to go down? There you have it. Josh Glade thinks he will still be your champion at the end of the night.
Thanks, JV. Don't go anywhere, folks. The championship match is next.
I tell you right now that unless you get over your lazy habits and come up to the standards I've set for this class, many of you will have the pleasure of repeating this course next semester.
The vast majority of behavior problems in the classroom involve minor breaches of discipline. These incidents frequently originate in the classroom situation itself and are within the control of the teacher. Disciplinary problems in the classroom are symptoms of underlying weaknesses in total learning situations.
2 detentions, 3 detentions. Leave this room and don't come back until you're ready to apologize.
It's a long way to the end of the term. When will this end?
Welcome back to the Gateway. After that, our last commercial break. Referee Chris Harmon has called for the bell, and it has sounded. This is our main event, a rematch triple threat match for the DCW Heavyweight Championship. When last these three went at it, it ended in a no contest as all three had a hand on each other when the 3 count was made. Now this is actually a pretty good strategy by Andrew Sowell, at least in that we've seen that Josh Glade is able to obtain some sort of inhuman power from that doll, so a game of keep away has ensued to the benefit of his competitors. However, they are feeling the full force of his rage, trying to get that back. William Cuddy feeling the 300-plus pounder slam him into the turnbuckle. Sowell looking to do damage to the doll and gets 300 pounds of Glade in return. Cutting has pitched the doll to the referee as the two competitors drop to their backs. Glade not knowing where the doll has ended up. Chris Harmon rightfully gets rid of the doll as quickly as possible, and Glade now taking the doll and setting it in a safe spot in the corner. No JV. Our ring announcer went to take it for him, but was quickly told no in Josh Glade speak. The champion using his ginormous mitts to slam the challengers head first into each other. Glade taking the opportunity to go for a cover on Cutting, but Cutting gets out at one. The history between these two goes back all the way to group therapy when Dr. Psycho was overseeing their treatment. They've both now gone into their own realms, and the realm in which Cutting finds himself is a painful one, with a big frying pan slap right to his chest. Now a second one. You can already see the welt forming on Cutting's chest. The devoted faithful happy to see Cutting get his comeuppance, call for one more. Cutting strikes back. It's not enough to stop the onslaught from Josh Glade, who delivers on that one more time. Good night, Irene! That's gonna leave a mark. Cutting, writhing in pain. Glade looks to kick him out of the squared circle. However, behind him, Andrew Sowell taking this chance to come in and try and get the drop on Glade. However, that drop has not seemed fruitful. Glade now takes Sowell, whips him off of the ropes, and puts him down with a stiff leg. Cutting already pulling out toys for this match, but Glade goes for the cover. And Sowell gets a shoulder up at 2. Glade is defending his championship in triple threat rules. Therefore, there is no count out, there is no disqualification. So the use of foreign objects is not grounds for dismissal from the bout. Sowell gets a mouthful of turnbuckle, but Cutting comes in, cuts down Glade with a steel chair. Cutting, no doubt, feeling justified after being on the wrong end of those frying pan chops from Josh Glade, and now Cutting goes to work on Sowell. A headbutt and now repeated shots to the midsection. Another shot to the crown of Sowell's head has him staggering into the corner. Now Cutting with the steel chair to Sowell's targeted midsection. Cutting, not finished with his chair yet, delivers a shot to Sowell's back. Sowell is down on the mat. Cutting rolls the big man over, goes for the cover. 1, 2. Sowell gets a shoulder up at 2. Despite getting an early beating in this match, Cutting finds himself in very good position of regaining the championship. However, Sowell with 2 thumbs right to his eyes. Again, no disqualification. So technically, it's not illegal. Sowell picks up the chair and delivers some recompense to Cutting's back. Guttural screams of pain coming from Cutting. Glade, who pulled out some leftovers from the Book of the Damned match months ago. And the devoted faithful letting Andrew Sowell know exactly what they think of him. Sowell using the Book of the Damned match's leftovers across Cutting's back again now as a projectile launched against Glade. Realizing the unnatural power that doll gives Glade, Sowell, I guess, decides to put a boot into it. Now pulling Cutting by the hair, receives multiple shots to the breadbasket again. Now a shot to the mouth, puts the social justice crusader on the ropes. Cutting with Sowell. Sowell reverses, off the ropes comes Cutting, and down he goes with a jumping lariat from Sowell, who goes for the cover. 2. Cutting kicks out at 2. Josh Glade, who has held the championship for a few weeks now. It's interesting that I think as far as prestige and meaning of the championship for Glade, it probably means the least. For Cutting, it would prove that he still sits at the top of the food chain of DCW. And for Sowell, it would mean that he is relevant, that he matters despite having been abandoned by his Antifa comrades. In fact, the only thing that has seemed to matter for Glade throughout all of this has been that dog. Sowell receiving a donkey punch from Cutting, and now the Butcher's hooks cut in deep, not relenting into a sit-out slam. Cutting gets into position, goes for the cover, 1, 2. Sowell gets a shoulder up at 2 and almost 3. It is close calls like that, and with the stakes so high that I couldn't be more relieved that we have a referee like Chris Harmon here officiating this bout. We are in the best hands in the Intermountain West. Sowell puts into his hands the steel chair and looks to take out Cutting, gets a ricochet off the ropes, hitting himself. Cutting in position for the anxiety attack. Exhausted, he goes for the cover. 1, 2, Glade breaks it up, and the match continues. Sowell looking to excuse himself from the path of Glade, rolls out of the ring. Meanwhile, Glade sets up Cutting for a suplex. Glade with the apparent memory of an elephant, not forgetting the torment that Cutting has exacted on him over the weeks. Goes for the cover. Cutting gets a shoulder up at 2. And despite the suffering that Cutting has felt thus far, it is not enough to keep that bad man down. With repeated stomps, Glade doing his best to keep him down, but Sowell, who has avoided Glade's wrath, enters into the fray, looks for the ripcord. Glade takes out the official. Cutting comes in with the anxiety attack. Folks, oh no, not again. Not again. History repeating itself from 2 weeks ago. This is how it ended last time. In a no contest with all 3 pitting each other at the same time. 2, all 3 simultaneously raising their shoulders. And my heart jumps up into my throat, folks. That was a close one. Cutting the first to his feet, looking at that barbed wire cat of 9 tails that he brought out with him. The West was won with the use of barbed wire, and now Cutting looking to use it to win the DCW championship. But Glade, with his superior strength, stops Cutting in his tracks. Oh no, no. Oh! Folks, if you are squeamish, you may not want to watch this. Oh. I am at a loss for words. Cutting on the receiving end of his own weapon. Raked across his back, the barbs cutting deep into the skin. You can see the effects. Oh my gosh. Glade not finished. Setting Cutting up onto the ropes. I'm sure Cutting would love nothing more than for this bout to be over, and it might just be as Glade looking for a superplex, but no, Sowell interjects, bringing both men down. Sowell just moving 500 plus pounds through the air, the other 2 falling directly down. The first to their feet will no doubt have the advantage. Sowell comes in with the roundhouse, but it's dodged by Glade. Glade scoops up Sowell. Sowell able to evade, and now the political agenda. He goes for the cover. And that's it, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and new Devotion Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Andrew Sowell.
One of the most vicious fights I have ever seen at DCW. The definition of a war of attrition. And Andrew Sowell comes out on top. Sowell gloating in his own predictions made earlier tonight. He does in fact make good on his promise to do it without the help of Andy Fudd. Folks, on behalf of DCW, I'm Lauren Gardner. Thank you for spending the time with us to watch this historic event here at DCW. A new champion is crowned, and you are here to see it. See more action just like this at our next live TV taping this Saturday, June 12th at the Gateway. Doors open at 6 o'clock, and the first match starts at 7. As Andrew Sowell exits the arena, one man is left at the center of the ring, Josh Glade. A tormented soul, perhaps lamenting the loss. However, I think there's only one thing on his mind, and only one thing that has ever really mattered to Josh Glade. To paraphrase Notting Hill, he's just a giant man standing in front of a doll, asking it to love him. Folks, I'm Lauren Gardner, the Cicerone, and until next time, stay devoted.
Now I will kill you.